Hello everybody, my name is Bigfoot and today we'll be doing another video on containerization. Today we'll be installing Docker on Ubuntu and Arch. This is specifically first video in the big block of videos about Docker in this containerization series. So let's begin, shall we? But before we actually begin with installing Docker, we need to talk about on what we'll be installing Docker. So we're installing it on Linux, specifically Arch Linux and Ubuntu. I chose those distributions because they are quite used by people on Linux desktop, and even Ubuntu is quite used among servers. And also because they you have quite a few derivatives or distributions based on them. You can use these instructions. The instructions I base my video on for yourself, even if you're not running Arch or Ubuntu. And finally enough, you can use Ubuntu instructions even for Debian, or you can just click one button over and you can have Debian instructions. And I will install this on a virtual machine because, well, it really doesn't matter what system it is, and it is easier way to have a clean system to install this for this video. Now, let's jump to Ubuntu. Now we're on Docker. Now we are on Ubuntu install. Let's first sudo apt update to make sure there is no updates available. They're not. Now we're going to install basic stuff like apt get install, apt transport HTTP, CA certificates, curl, new PG agent, and software properties common, which are all the software you require to get Docker running on Ubuntu. Next, we need to add the Docker GPG key. Again, if you do not know the commands, do not enter them. Do not understand what they do. Do not enter them. Now, where I'm getting these commands from is from Docker's official website, and link will be to Ubuntu down in the description. Next one then is checking out the fingerprint itself. This is it. It's Docker official fingerprint. Now, which actually should be the same as the one on their website. And it appears it is. Now we're going to add the Docker repo for Ubuntu. This is the command. It's gonna run it. Now we have it, and it also did automatic apt update already, so we should be up and running. Now we just need to install these few packages: Docker CE, Docker CE CLI, and Container.io. After this is installed, our job is almost complete. There are also other ways of installing, like with convenience script and by hand, but I do not recommend this because, again, you need to be aware of what you're doing. Okay, for this point, when it's already starting the Docker service, next thing we could do is we could run sudo docker, not sudo docker, but more specifically, there is one more command we could run, but I'm not remember which one it is. Oh yeah, the next command we could add is this one: sudo usermod -ig docker your user. This basically means your username. So in my case, that would be big pod. Which this allows us to do is to uh, what what does it allow us to do? Oh yeah, it allows us to do the execution of Docker commands without sudo. Because we will see in future that Docker commands will be executed using sudo. With this, we don't need to do sudo. I personally don't recommend executing this command because it is a slight security risk. And but if it's your own system and you're not running production services, you can go ahead. It will make your life a tad bit easier. Now we just need to run some other things. So let's clear the screen. Let's go. First, we're gonna run nano. Why are we going to run nano, you ask? Well, we're gonna run nano to check if nano is installed. This will tell us that this is actually Ubuntu installed on our system. Because if we're going to run sudo docker run arch, or let's go with Ubuntu focal, or just Ubuntu. Well, this is Ubuntu run command, which handles containers, actually execution and first run of the containers. We'll talk about this later episodes, specifically the episodes about managing your containers. But let's execute it now. First, we'll find the image that if it isn't locally, we'll find it in one of the repositories and install it onto the system. Pull it down, and then it will start a container. But we did forget one thing. Let's see, they just drop me back into my bare metal system. We're gonna add a single or two flags, dash I and dash T. And we're gonna combine them in dash IT. Why? This will allow us to do this. And if we run nano, it's not there. So first we're gonna do apt update to update the repository files. It takes some time. And apt install nano. Now nano works. Great. That's what we require. With this, the installation for Ubuntu has concluded. Now let's jump to Arch. And now we're on Arch machine, but Arch is a tad bit different because you do not install the Docker using the Docker guide, but install it. Guess what? Guess what? Arch Wiki, more specifically Arch actual repositories, and information is on Arch Wiki. Link down in the description. You go to installation section and you install sudo pacman-s docker. Type in the password. You use the yes, or in my case the, as in da, and you wait for the installation to complete. And sudo systemctl enable dash dash now docker, and after this it will symlink and after completing the symlink, now you clear the screen and it will. We can first do nano to test this is yes, this is Arch machine. Now sudo docker run dash it arch linux slash base, which check that if it's actually installed system, and it's running nano. Now it will pull down the Arch Linux base image, which is quite sizey with 171 megs of size, but it's going as fast as it can. it's gonna extract it, and then we're gonna be dropped right into it. Or maybe not. Let's not be too expectant. Come on, come on, come on. Show me that name. Yes. What else we can see that why this is Docker container is this specifically is Docker container ID. It's what is in container used as your computer name. Comparison to the name of my VM. Just what automatically system provides me when I was installing Arco Linux T, which this is. Now we're gonna install Beckman dash S. No, it won't work. Forgot to do sy. And if my memory serves correctly, it should install Nano. Yes, it does. Nano. And there it is. So this is how you install Nano on in your container. Now that's how you install Docker on your Arch. In this video, I learned how to install Docker onto your Ubuntu Arch systems. In the next video, we'll be checking out how to manage images loaded on your system and even load new ones. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget, use the tools that make your job easier, not the tools that make your job harder, but follow the philosophy you subscribe to. Goodbye.